Hi. For my curriculum analysis, I picked Reading A to Z. This is a program that's been offered to me in my life skills setting. I haven't used it too much. I was using it in the beginning for more assessments because it was just really easy to print off some stuff and just have something ready to go for my students when doing lower level running records. And they had pictures with them, and they were really accessible and interesting stories for what they are. But I would like to incorporate it into my class a little bit more next year. Kind of had a crazy last year, and doing one-on-one work with students was kind of a little too difficult. So I'm hoping to explicitly teach how to use the program, and then hopefully have the students be a little bit more independent in the life skills setting. Even though they are in high school, it's really good for, even though it's not that age appropriate for a lot of the stuff, the skills that they're targeting are really good for the students in my class right now. I haven't been offered, it hasn't been offered to me from the district. Actually, the ELD teacher at my school offered me her login, so I've been able to use it since we have a student that we share. A little bit about the program. It was developed in 2002, and it's entirely online, although you can print off some resources, like I talked about before, like doing running records and stuff. And it's typically used for grades K through 5 in a one-to-one setting, or you can do like station teaching and have kids on computers and pull small groups, whatever you decide to do. It has a lot of different components. It has Raz Kids, vocabulary A to Z, science A to Z, writing A to Z, and Head Sprout. The program assesses students initially and then creates lessons and generates them based upon how they do on the assessments and upon the errors and whatnot. The program uses passage reading followed by multiple choice questions, games, correction, and practice in real time, and celebrates student success digitally. Like you can get money and then you can cash them in for other little things, and kids seem to like it. The interactive ebooks have many levels and have enough variance within the literature, ranging from nonfiction to fiction, to keep it interesting and somewhat age appropriate if you do decide to use it for older kids. The program has won educational focused awards and is used across the globe. According to their website, they have won 9 2014 awards, 12 consecutive years revenue growth, 5 million children are using Raz Kids, 190 countries are served, 441 million ebooks read in 2014, and 418 million online e-quizzes were completed in 2014. The list goes on. They're really, yeah, happy about all their progress. But meanwhile, I could not find any empirical studies done on the efficacy of the program. However, they are incorporating a lot of evidence-based strategies and techniques and theories which are woven into the program, even though they don't explicitly say on the website that we go by this theory or we believe in this person. Their theories, it's all kind of encompassing in there. So if you're looking for something that for sure has that stamp of approval, you're not going to find it. The lessons are comprised of direct letter and sound instruction, phonics, fluency, vocabulary instruction, writing, and comprehension components. Schools and families can use the programs mostly because of, this is a direct quote off the website, this online reading library has an impressive collection of 81 listen to and read only books. As the children read the books or listen to the books being read to them, their vocabulary is being built. The students learn the correct pronunciation and improve their reading literacy by being exposed to nursery rhymes, poetry, songs, and classics. And then they keep going on from there. But so it's really accessing those skills of being able to work on high frequency words, using poetry, using rhyming, mnemonics, sentence strength, complexity, predictability, print size, vocabulary pattern, repetition, illustrations, concept, and topic. So built within the program, I think it's really lovely, especially for students who have disabilities. You can highlight, you can have something read to you. It's very interactive and meets a lot of different differentiation needs that you may need for your students. The online quizzes and automated practices in reading will show improvement on comprehension and fluency as the child progresses through the levels. So it does have a systemic kind of its own thing going there. In terms of progress monitoring, I think this program does a really great job of it. It's very easy. Like all of the data and their scores gets put into their folder. You can go on as a teacher and teacher view, and you can see how they're doing. I think it's really great. You can print it out, especially as an IEP teacher, when a lot of stuff is, their goals are data driven. They have to have 80% accuracy in, practicing literacy literary elements, what are something vague like that, but you can actually have that percentage and the breakdown of the skill that they are working on. They can just copy and paste that right into the IEP, and that's like awesome for special ed teachers. Like I said earlier, I wasn't able to find any specific information on their philosophies or theories or exactly how many school districts are adopting the program. It was just like overall stats and glory of the program on the website. But something that I did think was really cool is that they offer professional development for teachers, because how often are we just thrown into a curriculum? We're not trained on every in and out of the program, and we're not probably using the program to its fullest because we don't even know what's going on. And we all know our time is limited. We don't have a million hours to sit there and explore the website and figure out every nook and cranny of it. So I think it's really cool if they offer webinars and professional development for teachers. In my opinion, I don't think this is like your go-to all-encompassing literacy program. You're going to want to keep your eclectic approach. I'm going to use this part of the program. I'm going to work on vocabulary with this student in this program. It's not your go-to one-all fix-all for literacy issues. So if you just can diagnose what your students' issues are, then you can pick and choose what you're going to use. Another fun part to positively reinforce students is like you can create a fun avatar and you can use technology to keep them engaged. So I think that's a really fun aspect to the program. Of course, like it's really silly in some parts, so it's better for the younger grades. That's my recommendation. Based upon my what we've learned about in theories, I definitely am seeing evidence of schema, transactional, construction integration, and motivation theories built in within the program. When I went onto What Works Clearinghouse, there was nothing endorsing the program. In fact, they did have a specific disclaimer attached to HeadSprout, and it said, as of July 2007, no studies of HeadSprout early reading work found that fell within the scope of the beginning reading review protocol and met WWC design standards. Therefore, the WWC is unable to draw any research-based conclusions about the effectiveness or ineffectiveness of HeadSprout. But like I said before, I was able to find evidence-based strategies that are woven into the program. So the program does implement evidence-based practices which are endorsed by the National Reading Panel, such as direct phonics instruction, phonemic awareness development, fluency, comprehension strategies, just like your basic stuff that we've been talking about are present in the program. Now the downsides of the program. So there is a pretty blatant disregard for accessing background knowledge and implementing student voice, which is a huge part of culturally responsive teaching. So because it's just this really scripted, everything's laid out for you program, there is no real interaction on that human level. So yeah, that part wasn't so good. I did see pictures of diverse communities, so cool. But as like we've been learning about in culturally responsive teaching, there's different levels of deeper knowledge and accessibility of culture. So there's like the surface levels, and you just get deeper and deeper. So it's really covering the surface stuff, but not really getting into individual, getting to know the student and accessing their culture. Another downfall to the program is because it is all online, it's missing the component of turning the page of a book, which is actually really important because our brains haven't yet caught up to digital learning. So like turning the page with our fingers is not the same of actually engaging the left and the right side of the brain from turning the page of a book. So that information is not going to stick into long-term memory as well and not engaging both sides of the brain. Positives to the program are that teachers have reported, and thank you guys for your feedback. It was really great to hear it. Student engagement is typically pretty high when using the program. Stories are funny or interesting. Reward aspects are fun. The audio component is really good, along with the word highlighting is helpful, especially for students with dyslexia. It can be used across different subjects. Families can access it at home. There's a Spanish component, especially it'd be good for monolingual families to use at home. It's great for increasing independence, especially for kids in like my class. Multi-sensory approach, and it teaches students to use technology for multiple functionalities other than entertainment and watching YouTube. So my overall recommendation is, yes, I do give it a thumbs up. No, it should not be your one all catch all save all program for literacy. And we should take into consideration that there have been no empirical studies done on the curriculum. So it depends on how if you want that stamp of approval, you're not going to get it with this program. I would recommend teachers use it in their classrooms for supplemental activities, not for everyone, not like a whole class group thing, unless you're explicitly teaching how to use the website, then you could probably do whole group instruction for that. I see it being really useful for students who are struggling, that have disabilities. English language learners, really good for them, younger grades. It can also be a great tool to have students work on as you're doing running records or something, and you need to sit down and have that time to work one-on-one with students, and then you can put the rest of the class on the computers or something like that. I appreciate how easily the program progress monitors. The data crunching is super uncomplicated. I appreciate how easily the resources are. They're very functional and applicable to the program. There's assessments. The actual visual design and layout of the website, I think, is really easy and accessible for kids. And it all encompasses the pillars of reading instruction and teaches the micro and macro literacy skills that we've been talking about. So if used in conjunction with other programs and literacy building activities, I feel like it can be a really good, useful and engaging tool for students. So my overall recommendation is, yes, I do give it a thumbs up. No, it should not be your one all catch all save all program for literacy. And we should take into consideration that there have been no empirical studies done on the curriculum. So it depends on how if you want that stamp of approval, you're not going to get it with this program. I would recommend teachers use it in their classrooms for supplemental activities, not for everyone, not like a whole class group thing, unless you're explicitly teaching how to use the website, then you could probably do whole group instruction for that. I see it being really useful for students who are struggling, that have disabilities. English language learners, really good for them, younger grades. It can also be a great tool to have students work on as you're doing running records or something, and you need to sit down and have that time to work one-on-one with students, and then you can put the rest of the class on the computers or something like that. I appreciate how easily the program progress monitors. The data crunching is super uncomplicated. I appreciate how easily the resources are. They're very functional and applicable to the program. There's assessments. The actual visual design and layout of the website, I think, is really easy and accessible for kids. And it all encompasses the pillars of reading instruction and teaches the micro and macro literacy skills that we've been talking about. So if used in conjunction with other programs and literacy building activities, I feel like it can be a really good, useful and engaging tool for students.
Yeah. Okay, hi. So this is Heidi. She's my sister-in-law. She's visiting from Japan, and she's an English language learner. And I had her look at the RAS Plus ELL edition part of the website, and just to get her opinion on what she thinks about it as someone who would be in the position of learning English, and if this is beneficial or not.
Hi, I'm Ari. I checked this program. Actually, I like it because there are many photos, so I can easy to read, and I'm enjoying this program.
Also, she was, after I told her about how at the top of the bar where there's the all the letters of the alphabet to see which level she was at, she was able to herself go through the leveled books and figure out approximately what her comprehension is of each level. So she found out she's at a K.